Brother Moses Itauma just showed us exactly why he is so special. This cat came in and just blew out one of the more seasoned veterans in the heavyweight division in less than a round. Less than 2 minutes, this brother came in and completely destroyed anybody, or destroyed what was supposed to be his toughest task to date. No question about it. Absolutely. He took Dillian Whyte to the top. He didn't even let the brother get anything off offensively on him. And it was a great display. And again, people may complain, he didn't get any rounds. Dillian Whyte's old. It was less than 2 minutes. You can't really take anything away from this fight. But even with those circumstances, outstanding. This is still a great performance. We can talk about Dillian Whyte being 40. Sure, no question. Or 38, however old he is in the heavyweight division. We can talk about Dillian Whyte being past his prime. No question. What we can't overstate, however, is the need to see this man handle his business in this fashion. Like I said, the biggest thing we were comparing this fight to was, though it was again a lot better, but still, was Jared Anderson versus Charles Martin. Charles Martin, the former champion, who came and fought Anderson when Anderson was coming up quickly as a heavyweight. Now when we're looking at Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte, a better test than Charles Martin, who's been against more competent competition and more elite competition in his career, like with Anthony Joshua, like with Tyson Fury, had been a contender for the title for an abundance of years. Would this be the test that would indeed show the true colors of what this man really is about? All that can be put to bed right now, because this man passed that test with everything that we wanted and more. This brother came through and passed that test with flying colors. It was so easy. It was so easy. It was so easy. That's what made this fight so great. It was such an easy display of dominance for him. It wasn't anything it was as if Dillian Whyte did not belong in the ring with the Itauma at all. The brother was hurt after, less than 2 minutes into the round. Brother was hurt, was on wobbly legs, stayed on wobbly legs for upwards of 30 seconds while Itauma went to work. And he couldn't eat, and he couldn't get anything off. He couldn't defend against him. He couldn't match the speed of Itauma. He definitely couldn't take the power of Itauma. And that was one of the things we also wanted to see. Could he take the power of, or could the power of Itauma really rock one of the tougher fighters in this division? And if he can put out Dillian Whyte, you can knock out most of the heavyweight division. You can put them on their heels. You can put them in trouble. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. And he did everything possible. And it wasn't even just that. As we break down the fight with what was going on, the man was going through, and from the jump was consistently feinting, using his body feints and using his hand feints to make Dillian Whyte really become agitated, more so become overly cautious, over anxious of what was going to come back at him. And that jab that he threw out as the first punch of the night really set the tone for the disparity that was between the two fighters in Dillian Whyte. My gosh, I did not realize exactly how fast Itauma's hands really are as a fighter up until this point in time, looking at Dillian Whyte. Now, I ain't seen him against other people that had faster hands than Dillian, but from the sense of with Dillian being in the ring with so many great people and him having no answer, no ability to cope with that type of hand speed was something that was like, oh my gosh, really puts into perspective of how fast Itauma really is. And on top of that, on the night of the fight when he was coming into the ring, brother Itauma looks like a big brother. We keep saying this about him, but man, I'm telling you something. That's a big dude. That is a big man in that ring. Moving the way that he moves is something special. I will tell you what. And as he built off of the jab, kept going downstairs, kept jabbing to the body, throwing straight lefts to the body, because he is a southpaw. He's a southpaw, and that with all the other skill sets that we have about him, with that hand speed, with attacking the body, he then built up his attack and set Whyte up to get caught and get put out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It wasn't just that he made it easy. It's the fact that everything that he did in this fight was set up. It was set up with a foundational attack to the body. And the thing about most of the time, a lot of his punches look the same when they come out. We talked about this with other fighters. We talked about this with Canelo and his hook. With the likes of George Foreman when he was throwing shots. The ability to make everything look the same. And he's done it, and I've noticed that as a trend for the other fights that we've seen most of the time. It makes him very much unpredictable. He can throw the same shot because when he does switch up, it looks the exact same. And then once he got Dillian Whyte hurt, he was able to go to town. I mean, just go for broke. I mean, this cat will just go with everything you wanted to do. Lefts and rights, hooks and uppercuts. Was actually smart enough to, when he did get Dillian Whyte hurt, to not immediately rush in. He stepped back. He went clear across the ring when he had Dillian Whyte hurt to the body. And just to be on the safe side, to make sure nothing was coming his way. And then committed. And it absolutely went to town. Went to town. Had that bullet running all across the ring. Up until finally pulling down that guard, going with a hook to the temple, and putting Dillian Whyte out. It's what we wanted. But it was so unexpected because we thought we would see Whyte tested and pushed beyond 6 just by proxy, just by the toughness that we know Dillian Whyte has. Though, yes, he is over the hump. Though, yes, this was a fight that Itauma was supposed to win. This was supposed to be a true ability, or a true opportunity, rather, to watch Itauma have to more so, instead of just breezing through, have to dig a little bit deeper into his bag. Have to go through and be more selective with his offensive array. A little bit wiser with his defensive abilities. And we're going to touch on his defense as well. We thought he would have to be more methodical. Let's be real. We thought he would have to be more methodical just by proxy of the potential danger that Whyte brings to the table. And Whyte having a delivery system of how to land his power shots, how to land his KO shots with that savvy and experience. This was supposed to be a fight to show Whyte what it really means to compete for a title. What it's going to be like going up there. And my gosh, this brother passed that test with the flying colors is an understatement. It was as if it wasn't a test. It was as if, no, this isn't a question of whether or not I belong at this top tier elite caliber. Or at least whether I deserve to be in this conversation. No, I'm here. At point blank period. I'm 20 years old. I'm on a path that isn't just about hype. No, but I'm the real deal. I'm the real McCoy. I am a dangerous brother. And it's time for me to push on. For months, I was saying this man has some real ability to do some great stuff in this division, especially in today's heavyweight era. With the next one coming up, he is proving me right every step of the way. And I love it. I love it. I love it.